What's up, storytellers? Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects in the whole world, the Enneagram. And you get to hear a little bit about the system that I'm obsessed with, and you get to hear a little bit about why it's so important and how it can help you in your storytelling journey. So I'm going to be as detailed as possible in the amount of time that we have, because this could literally be a course of 10 videos, 20 videos just on this topic. So I'm not gonna be able to cover everything. I'm sure I'm gonna leave out a lot, but I'm gonna have a good general overview, I think, for you. So what is the Enneagram system? It's a personality typing system. It tells the person who takes the Enneagram test or is evaluated or identifies as one of the types, it describes their ego fixation. It describes what their ego is defined by, the orientation or the energetic shape of the ego. That raises the question, what is the ego? One of my favorite answers for that is, it is the false self created by an overstimulated nervous system. That's a quote from Matt Kahn, one of my favorite guys out there. The false self created by an overstimulated nervous system. However, I wouldn't say that's an entire definition of the ego, because you can have an unhealthy ego and you can have a healthy ego. A healthy, integrated ego no longer appears as a false self. It becomes completely integrated into one being with the true person. The false self is what makes it possible to lie to ourselves. It's the subconscious. So if we have a subconscious, we have the possibility of lying to ourselves. When at the end of a spiritual journey, someone is completely integrated into their ego, which is not very common. It is something that takes a lot of work for most people. The subconscious no longer exists in that case, and the entire being is conscious. And really, that is the direction we're moving with doing Enneagram work. It's an incredible system. It's fascinating what can show up, and there's so many layers to it, because if you read it once, if you read your description of your type once, it can have a lot of aha moments. You can try it again 3 months later, and it'll have a whole different series of aha moments. It's like layers and layers and layers. It's a powerful thing. You might be familiar with other personality typing systems. Some that come to mind are Myers-Briggs, with all those funny letters like ENFJ, INTP, those kinds of things. The other ones that come to mind are gene keys and human design. There's astrology, which those are based on. I'm thinking of one called wealth dynamics. There's a lot of different types of systems out there. What's interesting about those is, in most of those systems, depending on where you are at in your journey, they can change. For example, the Myers-Briggs will change depending on where you're at in your journey. And likely the wealth dynamics will change depending on how you test that day, where you're at in your journey. Astrology, gene keys, human design, these are based on astrology, and so they're obviously based on your birth date. Those don't change. But what those do is they define how your energies are expressed. They help you understand what is going to work well for you, what is going to get you moving get your energy moving in a healthy way. From my perspective, what the Enneagram system is about is sort of the opposite. It's showing you how you are already putting yourself into a box unnecessarily. A lot of people might even have resistance about being typed because I don't want to be in a box. I don't want to be classified. I don't want to be labeled. But the point of this is we're already labeling ourselves. We're already creating unconscious trauma-based rules about who we think we are. We're already limiting our expression without even realizing it. Sometimes maybe we're realizing it. But we get trapped. We get seriously, deeply trapped into layers of our unconscious that are tormenting us, harassing us, locking us. And then we project that onto the outside world. This person did this to me. This person did this to me. I'm a victim to this person. I've got to go rescue this person. But really, it's all based on internal dynamics. I'm a victim to myself. I need rescuing. I want to rescue myself. I wish someone else would rescue me. This is the drama triangle. Victim, rescuer, perpetrator. We have the drama triangle acting out within ourselves. And the unique way that that's happening is not that unique. It's one of 9 different patterns, and these are the Enneagram patterns. So when we are able to realize, oh, I'm doing this. Oh, this is not real. Oh, I'm in an illusion. Oh, I've been convinced of this thing that's not actually true. It helps us to reverse all of that momentum of our ego fixation. It helps us to get out of the hole that we've dug for ourselves. This is powerful. This is really powerful stuff. This is, in many enlightenment schools, this is a major tool for self-realization. This is a way to see beyond our own sight, seeing our own patterns, seeing what we've bought into, right? This is incredible. So what does this have to do with storytelling? Well, if we know that every character in every story, whether the character realizes it or not, and whether the author realizes it or not, every character is on a journey of self-realization. That's all there is. That's what we're on Earth for. We're uncovering all of the lies we've told ourselves, and then once that is done, some say that the journey just begins upon self-realization. That's when we can actually live our lives and be ourselves and express authentically, right? And be someone who we respect and show up in a way that feels true and feel happy all the time and feel good about ourselves. It's something we don't need to set aside as unrealistic. It's very real. It happens all the time. People dig themselves out of their holes all the time. And this is what every character in every story and every author are doing, whether it's conscious or not. Sometimes people or characters, fictional or non-fictional, have to go toward the dark side in order to express that part of themselves, in order to get in touch with their dark urges, right? You might see this in horror movies, religions like, what's that, like satanic religion. Different kinds of practices are designed to explore the dark side, because that's a very, I don't want to say real, but very commonly manifested aspect of humanity, the dark side. The desire to destroy, kill, maim, hurt, punish. This dark side is something that has really deep origins in humanity. This dark side is something that goes back a lot further than people realize. This dark side is something that has been inflicted upon humanity. I didn't mean to get into this at all, but this is apparently what I'm talking about now. This dark side is something that is insidious, and it is not the fault of humans, but it is the responsibility of humans to unwind it, to see past it, to call it out, to notice it in ourselves, to do the self-inquiry, to do the digging necessary, to be able to get it out of our systems, to be able to delete it and liberate ourselves. It's possible, it's necessary, it's inevitable, let's do this. Yeah? So the Enneagram is a powerful system to do this, to help us see the different ways that insidious force manifests in ourselves. The matrix is not out there, the matrix is in here. Okay? Everything we feel victimized to is a projection of our own victimhood of ourselves. This is the lie that's been planted in us. Okay? We're not actually doing anything wrong. We are not actually victims of ourselves, but because we think we are, we are. It's a paradox. Awakening happens through paradox. That's just how it is. The mind is never going to grasp all this stuff. Getting an aware ego means understanding I'm here to help my soul evolve. I'm here to help liberate myself from this mess, and I'm never going to get it. I'm never going to get it because this is not for the mind. Again, I didn't mean to go into all this stuff, but this is what's coming up. So if every character in every movie, every story is on a path of self-realization, every character has their own unique Enneagram. So you can see how this benefits you as a storyteller. You might have a story with a type 4 and a type 6 and a type 9 who go on an adventure together, and they all have their priorities. They're going to have their shadows that are corresponding to their specific types, and they're going to have their superpowers that also correspond to their specific types. I know those superpowers as the holy ideas of each Enneagram. All these are as ideas, right? The ego fixation happens because the child gets an idea and then builds on that idea and builds on that idea. And there's only 9 ideas, which makes 9 strategies, give or take because of the subtypes, 27 strategies when it comes down to the most granular stuff, but 9 overall strategies. And as far as what I'm doing here, talking to you, is because you're on your own journey too. As the author, you are on your own Enneagram journey. You're on your own journey of uncreating all of the lies that you have told yourself to get you into this refined little box of I am this person, and to break down those walls and expand yourself to be free of limitations. And this honestly is the definition of health. Self-realization journey is just a journey of health. It's not fancy. It doesn't really even mean anything. That's what we're doing here, is we're letting go of all the meanings of things. The Enneagram system is helping us see the meanings we've created about life and becoming conscious enough of all these meanings that we can undo them. We can rip them up from the roots. And this has a massive physical detox effect on the body when this happens, because the body is the subconscious mind. It's holding all of these thoughts. So you might see this manifest as illness, posture issues, stiff muscles, dehydration, behavior, right? All of these things are manifestations of holding patterns of tension in our bodies due to the ideas we have about who we think we are. So I'm just quickly going to read to you the 9 Enneagram types. I posted these on my Instagram the other day, on the Story Weaving Instagram, and I just want to not forget any. My type, in case you're wondering, is the type 3, so I'll start there. Type 3 is the performer. I'll just read the description of each. The performer, attention goes to what brings success and gaining approval. Energy goes into achieving goals, tasks, and prestige. So you can see that it has upsides and downsides, as all types do. 4, the romantic. Attention goes to what is missing. Energy goes into searching for the most unique, special, and fulfilling. 5, the observer. Attention goes to the expectations of others. Energy goes into becoming private and self-sufficient and acquiring knowledge. Loyal skeptic, 6. Attention goes to hazards and potential worst-case scenarios. Energy goes into becoming vigilant, questioning, or doubting. I'm going to just take a pause. One of the things I did mention is that when each type gets stressed, or when each type goes into growth, which are the opposite modes, they go to other numbers. So as a 3, I go to the positive sides of the type 6. And I go to the negative sides under stress of the type 9. So each number goes to another number in stress, and so they might even confuse themselves for being that other number. And then they go to this to their growth number in times of expansion and surrender. So it's an incredible system. It's the accuracy, the nuance is absolutely fascinating. So I go to 9 under stress. 3 goes to 9. I'll continue. Type 7 is, on this one, it's called the epicure, but I know it as the enthusiast. Type 7, attention goes to what limits and constraints. Energy goes into interesting ideas and pleasurable experiences. Type 8, the protector. Attention goes to those who need protection and to power and control. Energy goes into being powerful, protecting, and fighting. And then type 9, the mediator. This is what I go to in stress. Mediator. Attention goes to conflict and discomfort. Energy goes into other people and avoiding, preventing conflicts. And then type 1, the perfectionist. Attention goes to what is right and wrong, being good. Energy goes into trying to improve. And then type 2, the giver. Attention goes to the wants and needs of others, being appreciated. Energy goes into giving and helping. So that is all of the 9. Let's see if there's anything else I want to say about that. Yeah, like I said, it's a brief overview, but it's really helpful stuff. It's really important. You might be wondering, how can I find my type? This is actually a little bit of a complicated question in itself, too, because there's a lot of tests out there. There's a lot of typing systems, probably even books about this. I mean, it's not that complicated, and if you read them all, you might be able to figure out which one you are. But I use a really simple, like, 2-question test, which basically it's 6 paragraphs. I'm wondering if I can maybe add a link to it in the video. We'll see. But feel free to message me if you need that. It's really easy to mistype ourselves. If we're always in stress, I recently had someone who thought they were type 5, and a couple of years later they realized that they had been in stress for a couple of years, and they were actually a type 8, because 8 goes to 5 in stress. I know of, let's say, a family member who always seemed like a type 8 to me, but actually they are a type 2 because type 2 goes to 8 in stress. So it's complicated, but it's also, once you understand it, it's intuitive and it's really powerful. So I think that's about it. Yeah, if you have any other questions about this for me, feel free to reach out, leave a comment. There's lots of Enneagram coaches on YouTube. You can literally type in type blank in relationships, type 4 in relationships, and you'll get a bunch of people talking just about what a type 4 is in relationships, or is like in relationships. You can say type 6, type blank in career. You can say type blank and type blank in a relationship. You know, what are a 6 and a 9 like in a relationship? People have videos about everything on YouTube. It's incredible. So it's a great opportunity to use that resource. YouTube is an incredible free resource. I'm going to continue to make videos about specifically going deeper in our storytelling. If this resonates with you, I always appreciate subscribe, like, hit the little bell, and yeah, looking forward to seeing you next time.